Recording?
Yep, it's recording. Okay. In the audience. Lindsay, and then I gotta count, right?
No.
I think. Okay, we're good.
How many years can a human grasp? Can you grasp 200 years? How about 300 years? Today I'll give you a very brief summation of history of the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world, Windsor Castle. Learning about this castle and its 900-year history will help you understand events in Europe and will help you understand the lifestyle of the British nobility. Today I'll run you through the major events in this castle's history. You'll learn about Windsor during its earliest beginnings. You'll learn about it during the reign of Henry III. You'll learn about it during the English Civil War. And you'll learn about all the repairs and improvements that the Wyatt brothers did. And you'll also learn about Windsor history in more modern times, like since World War II. Let's begin at the castle's origin. The castle was built by William the Conqueror in the 1070s. It was built to guard London from attacks from the west, and it was first recognized as a royal residence in 1113 after Henry I added several new buildings. Windsor Castle has a connection to Magna Carta, writes Singleby from Britannia.com in 2001. King John went to and from Windsor during his conferences of this key document. He was at Windsor when he heard of Louis the French Dauphin's invasion in 1216. The rebel barons and their French allies laid siege to the castle there for 3 months. Now, armed with the castle's beginnings, we'll jump forward in history to the reign of Henry III. Henry III is a very important figure in this castle's history. He did many improvements. He replaced the old hall in the upper ward by a larger one in the lower ward, and in 1272 the roof was kept. 3 large towers were built on the town-facing side, and a tower was built on the side of today's Winchester Castle. He also had the castle decorated with paintings, and he had the windows glassed in. And he even maintained residence during all these improvements, which is surprising considering how so many other places to go. Now that we've seen what was done in peace time, let's see what happened during the English Civil War. A great deal of things happened at Windsor in the English Civil War. In 1642, the Parliamentary Army occupied Windsor, says authors Ditchfield and Page in History of the County of Berkshire, Volume 3, in 1923. In 1643, 55 political prisoners were held in the castle, and in November of that year, there was a mutiny in the garrison. In 1647, it was made the headquarters of the Parliamentary Army, and during this occupation, a man named Colonel Vin, he looted the castle and killed all the deer in the Great Park. Now we've seen chaos, let's see the order the Wyatt brothers brought to the castle. The Wyatts repaired and improved Windsor during the reigns of George IV and William IV. Some of the apartments were restored during this time, and they raised the level of the roofs. They built the Brunswick, York, and Lancaster Towers. They built the Waterloo Gallery and the Horn Court, and they centralized all of Windsor's stables on Castle Hill. And they also built a grand staircase in the Brick Court. Now that we've taken a look at Windsor in the past, let's see it in more modern times. Since the 20th century, the royal family stayed secretly at Windsor during World War II, and in 1952, Elizabeth II made Windsor her weekend retreat. By the early 1990s, Windsor was in disrepair and ruins, basically, and so they had to do a lot of renovations, and so most of the things were taken out for the renovations, and coincidentally, on November 21st, 1992, a fire broke out at Windsor, and it caused a lot of damage in the upper ward, reports R. Stephen from the New York Times in 1992. At Buckingham Palace, there was a debate as to how they should pay for all this, the repairs the fire caused, and it was decided that Buckingham Palace will be opened at certain times of the year to pay for the repairs, so that the tax dollars wouldn't have to be raised from the people. In conclusion, Windsor has had a very long and rich history, much of which I wasn't able to cover in this very brief speech. So today, you've learned about Windsor during its earliest history. You've learned about Windsor during the reign of Henry III. You've learned about Civil War, and you've also learned about the repairs and improvements the Light Brothers did, and you've learned about Windsor during more modern times. With this speech, you're on with a very quick overview of the very long history of this historic castle, and this speech should at the very least make you an informed tourist, and if not a tad more aware of English history, and perhaps inspire you to visit the castle.
Pretty darn good.